Hello, my name is Isaac Hecker. I was born in New York City on December 18, 1819. I'm the third son of German immigrants John Hecker and Caroline Friend. After my father left us when I was quite young, my mother, who was a devout Methodist, raised my siblings and I with an open mind to religion. I began attending public school number 7 in 1826. By the age of 13, I decided to turn in my books for a real job to help support my family financially. I got my first job as a letter carrier for the Christian Advocate and Journal and Zion's Herald. Shortly after attempting to work in foundry like my father, I decided to work alongside my brothers John and George during my teenage years in their bakery until I became a full business partner. My brothers became heavily involved with the liberal wing of the New York Democratic Party, also known as the Locofocos, which focused on the opposition of monopolies as well as the corruption against immigrants. I chose to join my brothers to help with the political campaign of 1837, but unfortunately we fell short of victory. This political loss left me saddened and confused for a few years until I met a philosopher by the name of Orestes Brownson after listening to his speech in March of 1841. Bronson was a democratic Christian activist who firmly believed Christianity would help fix the inequalities in the United States. I sought out to meet with Mr. Bronson for some guidance. He told me to begin reading German philosophy to help me with my struggles. Shortly after, in the summer of 1842, June to be exact, I started to have angelic visions in my dreams. Almost a half a year later, in December of 1842, Bronson invited me to stay with him in Chelsea, and I accepted. While under the supervision of Bronson, he suggested that I attend Brook Farm, a community with other like-minded scholars founded by Bronson's close friend and acquaintance, George Ripley, in 1841. I arrived at Brook Farm in January 1843, where I continued with my studies and practiced my everyday skills. While at Brook Farm, I was often called Ernest the Seeker because although I wasn't good looking, I was truthful and ethical. Struggling to stay happy and understanding my inner mystical life, I decided to move to the community known as Fruitlands in Massachusetts in June of 1943. At Fruitlands is where I finally came to peace with the Lord's plan for me. About 2 months later, I returned home to see my family and work at the bakery again. This is where I began pondering which church was the right one for me. After speaking with Bishop John Bernard Fitzpatrick, I was now set on becoming a Roman Catholic. On August 2nd, 1844, Bishop McCloskey baptized me in the old St. Patrick's Cathedral. This was a large step in my life, which opened the doors for my future with the Lord and His plan for me. Encouraged by my fellow peers, I decided to join other Redemptorists and set sail on the Prince Albert to Belgium. My long search for God had finally come to an end when I became ordained as a Redemptorist priest on October 23, 1849. After beginning my mission career in England in 1851, I headed home to New York City to evangelize America. While back in America, I created a mission team that would focus on encouraging the faithful to live a full Catholic life and make America become Catholic. Shortly after traveling around the U.S. preaching, I wrote a book titled Questions of the Soul in 1855, which discussed my own spiritual journey. I proceeded to write a second book called Aspirations of Nature that displays Catholicism as the religion that best fulfills happiness and truth. In hope for an American novitiate to be opened, I traveled to Rome to speak with my superiors without making prior arrangements. When I arrived, I was baffled to understand that they were expelling me for my travel. With the help of Cardinal Alessandro Bonarbo, I was able to speak with Pope Pius IX and get my sentence reversed. With the approval from Pope Pius IX, I began planning a new congregation with fellow colleagues. With the acceptance into the New York Archdiocese, we were able to create the Missionary Priests of St. Paul the Apostle, also known as the Paulists, which focuses on parish missions and the apostolate to non-Catholics. To help spread the word of the Lord, I created the Catholic World, the Catholic Publication Society, as well as the Young Catholic. Around the same time, I was able to attend the First Vatican Council as a theologian, but after my return home, I began to get sick and was eventually diagnosed with leukemia. My life finally came to an end on December 22nd, 1888. Looking back on my life, I truly felt that American liberty and democracy was the perfect foundation for Roman Catholicism to prosper. I embody what it means to be an American Catholic.